Welcome back, all of you beautiful broken chairs out there. This is the JCP End Zone Perspective podcast. I am Jacob, joined by my lovely co-host Cole,
What's good, y'all?
and we wish you a very, very happy holidays. And currently there's a game going on right now, actually Thursday night football. So if you watch that instead of us, we don't blame you.
I mean, we technically do. I mean, come on. Who wants to watch the Saints and the Rams? Okay, two garbage franchises. Hope all of
I
you
mean,
have a Merry Christmas at that. To add on to what Jacob said.
yeah, Rams are up 7-0 right now, and it's the end of the first half. But anyway, we are going to hop into some NFL news, and then we're going to go into Week 15 of the NFL, and then we're going to go into the good, bad, and mez of our
Fake
fantasy,
news.
and then we are going to go into a new segment called Bright Futures. We're basically going to pick out either coaches or players or teams in general that we just have a very strong feeling that they're going to have a really bright future ahead of them.
I was gonna do Brandon Staley until he got fired.
No, you were not. Don't even lie to yourself before you throw. Don't even lie to yourself before you throw up in your mouth.
Bro has a
All right,
point.
kicking it off with somewhat controversial news. Some NFL news. Damati Kazi, I think that's how you say his name.
Something like
Um,
that.
Steelers safety is suspended. It was for it was for the rest of the season, but now since yesterday, as of yesterday, they have lifted it to only the regular season. So he's still going to be in the playoffs. Now, if you don't know what happened, it was last week against the Colts and Steelers, where he Demonte basically tackled a player, and the wide receiver dove, and then Demonte hit him, and it looked really rough. It was Michael Pittman, right? Michael Pittman
Yeah,
was the dude
Michael
who got hit.
Pittman was who get it.
Mm-hmm. And
Well,
yeah, you start off. What do you think about
okay,
this, Cole?
cool. So, man, okay, and you can relate to this too. Anybody out there who grew up watching football, this hit was not all that bad. I don't think anybody can really make a case about why this was awful. Okay, like in fast motion, it looked bad. It looked like he targeted. He led with his head. Watch the replay though. I mean, he leads with his shoulder, um, and this is known as a hospital throw. Or in hockey, they say hospital pass. You could use either or, but I would be kind of more up in arms with the quarterback than anything because at the end of the day, look, he makes a throw that puts his wide receiver Michael Pittman in a awful spot to get destroyed. And, back in the day, this would not be a question. This would not even be a thought. I don't think he should have been suspended for this hit. I really don't. I think people dramatized this, made it worse than it actually was, personally.
You see, I see both sides of this argument. Not as much as that if it was a dirty hit or not. And I do agree that he should not have been suspended at all. But the hit, it did look a little brutal on replay. The way he kind of just folded up like that, you see his neck parallel to his back. And I'm not calling him a dirty hit. I don't think it was a dirty hit or a dirty tackle. I do think I don't think a lot of blame should be put on anybody, but if it was blame going to be put on anybody, it would have been the quarterback. But I don't think that he intended for the ball to be overthrown and the Michael Pittman die for it. Because if he did not dive for it, it would not have been that bad of a tackle. It would have just been caught it in stride and then tackled in the chest.
Right.
So I don't, and I'm sure the quarterback did not mean that, so that's why I'm not putting blame on anybody really. It was an accident. Michael Pittman is in concussion protocol because of this. It was a pretty bad hit, but I'm not gonna call Demonte a dirty player. I do not think it was intentional at all, and I didn't. I bet he feels really bad for it. I am
And
glad
here's
though
the
that
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm glad that the NFL, if they were going to keep the suspension, they at least lightened it to just the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? This is kind of the measuring stick to me of if something's a dirty hit or not. Again, I know, you weren't saying this, but I'm just to clarify my position. If we look at Vontez Burfict and, some of the stuff he did, like, he did a lot of things that were dirty. He got away with a lot. Um, and some even say he accelerated the descent of Antonio Brown. So if you look at him, to me, yeah, like that, some of those things he did, those can be considered dirty, all day. I don't think anybody here would have a problem with that. But then you look at a ball player trying to make a play, and when you get called and when you get ejected and suspended. I mean, we had this talk earlier on in the year, if you remember, 2 weeks after the Bama LSU game. If you look at what Dallas Turner did to Jaden Daniels, that's a cheap shot. That's the hit we want to avoid. Or what Ali Gay did to Jordan Travis a year ago. Yeah, we want to avoid those hits. But this hit, and this is a football play. This is kind of reminds me of when Andre Sam, when LSU played Florida, he got targeting and was ejected because he just made a basic tackle. So we need to have a come together. The refs during the off season at every level, we need to figure this out because we're punishing a football player for making a tackle anymore, and pretty soon they're going to be like, oh well, you don't want to get suspended, so we got to go again for the legs. And we've seen again, look at Nick Chubb, how that goes. So,
Mm-hmm.
we really got to get this under control for next season. This is sad.
I will say about kind of what you brought up. I think with how defensive players are going after the legs now, and I'm not blaming it on them because refs will tackle you. Refs will throw
Exactly.
the flag if
Right.
anything above the waist. So I think because you see so many people getting injuries at the bottom, like on the bottom of half of their body, they're not, it used to be, a broken rib or there's still concussions, but like we're seeing more of like leg injuries or knee injuries or stuff like that, broken shins, broken legs. Like Nick Chubb, Joe Burrow, it happens with Lamar Jackson sometimes.
Right.
It's like all of these players are getting injured because of these tackles, and it even happened with Mark Andrews too. It doesn't
Oh
happen as
yeah.
it happens to everybody because they insist on just instead of a wrap up tackle, they just dive under you and go under your shins. Like that's what's making players so injured is what I'm getting at here. That's what I'm
Right.
sensing.
No, I mean that's kind of the main concern I think with everybody, is just how far does this go? What is the clear definition? Let's get this ironed out before we have more season-ending injuries and possibly even career-ending injuries, if we don't get this figured out.
Yeah. Are we ready to go into some happy news though?
Yes, sir.
Because Jaylee's and Lettleman,
Wow.
Brandon Staley has been fired from the LA Chargers
I
after
used to pray for times like these.
after a horrific loss, less than 24 hours of this horrific loss that we'll talk about in a little bit, losing to the Raiders 63-21. 63. I want to preface this again. I almost said Los Angeles Raiders. The Los
Wow.
Angeles
Chargers.
Chargers lost to the Las Vegas Raiders. They were up 42 at halftime. at halftime. Do I 42 at halftime? You know what the Chargers were at halftime?
Starts with a Z.
Starts with a Z, ends in an O. This was a horrific loss, but we did see something good come out of it because Brandon Staley, a horrific coach that I've been saying since the beginning of the season, I've been thinking is, we've been calling for it for weeks now, just to get this guy out of here. The ruined potential of these players has gone on for long, way overdue.
Hey, but you want to know something funny though?
What is that?
It's the Devontae Adams effect. Just think about it. He was all like sad and upset because of the Vegas coaching. They fired him. LA plays Las Vegas. He's on Vegas. Vegas kills him. He gets fired. If you're a head coach, do not play the Raiders. Andy Reid, you better watch out.
You think Andy? No.
No, I'm just saying, hey,
No.
that's the next team on their schedule. He's gotten 2 coaches, gone. Maybe make it 3.
You're actually insane.
No, I know it's not gonna happen, but it would be funny if it.
That'd be the best thing to ever happen in football,
right? Devontae Adams gets Andy Reid fired.
But yeah, and with this news though, we are happy. He was, anytime someone asked him a question, we get that when coaches have right after a loss, they get a little pressed, they're not in the mood to really talk. But after even wins, and you're just refusing to talk to people and refusing to answer questions and getting mad at people in the press conferences for asking basic questions like who's going to call the defense, like that was unbelievable to me.
Oh, that was great.
When he was, just getting basic questions that, isn't really like, targeted or like mean-spirited or anything like that. And I want to give a shout out to the interviewer after this game, because there was an interviewer that said, "Do you think you'll have the job tomorrow?" And he's just like, "I don't know." And then he said, "Do you think you should have this job tomorrow?" I was like, man, the tough questions. And then Brandon Staley said yes. That shows that's the perfect reason why he got fired. It was the unprofessionalism of him was what made me mad the most also.
I mean, yeah, to me, obviously, the most massive thing that pissed me off was just seeing, like, you have these guys on this roster that are all so good. I mean, it's not.
We don't even have to name them. Like,
exactly.
Everyone knows what we could be talking about.
Oh my goodness, a generational, potentially, quarterback. Again,
Yeah.
I'm still not the highest on,
Justin
Herbert, but I mean, he's got potential. He's a great player. He fits, what you want in that type of. I mean, he fits the modern mold. He's really good. But when you waste that, Euro line, pitiful. I mean, oh my goodness, you thought that the Raiders had the best team like in the history of forever with the way they were sacking and getting to the quarterback. I know Herbert wasn't playing for the record, but they got 3 sacks on Easton Stick, and God bless Easton Stick, man. I don't know how he played this game. They had 6 total QB hits on him. Yeah, the poor dude, he threw 3 touchdowns, and that was the only bright spot of this team. Just oh man. Thank God the bad man is no longer because he should be fined for what he did.
Can I remind you what makes this loss even worse? This Raiders team didn't score a touchdown last week. Didn't even score a field goal last week. And then you make them look like oh my god. You make them look like prime Tom Brady with prime Randy Moss and prime Gronkowski. Just throw Tyreek Hill on there and he would just like every great
Oh,
player on the same roster all at once. This was so pitiful.
this was awful. This was just, oh man. Well, we'll get more into this game, but I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
wanted to
yeah, yeah.
bring up, oh my goodness, Brandon Staley.
It's the
Uh,
first game we talk about too.
yeah, oof. That's all I gotta say. Just oof.
All right,
Goodbye. Yeah.
we're glad you're gone. Going to the last part of the news, though, I'm pretty happy. In light to the Keaton Mitchell full ACL
Mm.
tear of his left knee, a full tear.
Oh,
It was rough. I did
it
you see the
was.
video I sent in the
I
cord?
did.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. They have signed Melvin Gordon to a 1 year, 100, 1 million and $1,165,000 contract with to the Baltimore Ravens. Comes back after getting released, I think earlier this season.
They
Um,
just gave him $100.
yeah, they gave him a bag of chips and a hotel room to stay in for the rest of the season. Oh, uh, issues with Cole's device right now, though. What I think of this deal, I think it's great. You know, it's always nice to see a player coming back. This kind of reminds me of earlier in the season with when Nick Chubb went down, and then they got oh my god, what is his name? I am such an idiot. Oop. I am such an idiot. God, what is you know who I'm talking about? The Browns running back went back after Nick Chubb went down with the injury. Cole.
See,
I was just talking about how this move kind of reminds me of earlier in the season when Nick Chubb went down with the injury, and then they got the running back that they released a couple of seasons ago, and I cannot remember his name.
um, trying to think. Kareem Hunt, or wait, no,
Kareem Hunt. No, it was
well,
Kareem Hunt.
okay.
Yeah. This move kind of reminds me of that because you get your one of your star running backs down with pretty bad injury, you know, with the leg too, the same leg, and then you sign one of your old running backs to come back in light of that injury.
Well, and you know the thing too, about that, on a serious note, and people kind of sigh a little bit because, I've seen some negative things about this. Some people also going like, oh, whatever. I mean, it's a good placeholder. And I've seen people who, are kind of on board with this. And me personally, like, I'm on board with it, man. Let's freaking
Yeah,
ride. I got to watch Melvin Gordon at Wisconsin, before he came to the pros, and this kid, I mean, Wisconsin, if y'all don't know, obviously I'm more college minded, but if you didn't watch college a lot, um, Wisconsin has some killing running backs like Melvin
oh
Gordon.
yeah,
You have Monty Ball. You have Braylon Allen coming up this year. You got Jonathan Taylor. Like, dude, they're loaded always at the running back position. So I think this guy, if he can return to anything like he was, I know, that's not the idea necessarily, but if he can, watch out, man. He could be a dynamic piece to this Ravens run for sure.
yeah. Um, you've been seeing how Keaton Mitchell's been tearing it up in Baltimore, though. How
But
much will this I would say, how do you think? How long do you think it will take before Melvin Gordon's back in that Baltimore system? Because, like I said, he's been on this team before. He's well versed with this team.
yeah, I mean, that's a really good question to ask, but I think it's kind of almost like riding a bike, if that makes sense. Like once you've been submerged in an offense of this caliber and you see what they like to do, and even like, having time watching film on your own, watching games, I'm sure he's watched a few, having that time. I don't think it's gonna take that long. I think, they're gonna gel rather quickly here, um, and like I said, man, I'm really optimistic about this signing. I think he could really explode into the player that they need in this time. Him and Gus Edwards as a 1-2.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that. Melvin Gordon getting another Super Bowl ring.
It's very possible.
Let's make it
Ravens
happen.
look great. I'd
Let's
love to
make it
see it,
happen.
man.
But that'll be it for the NFL news. Jumping into Week 15, like what we were talking about earlier, Chargers taking a loss, 21-63. Raiders. How?
So I'll start here. As a Raiders fan, I mean, you love to see this. I mean, they played, elite ball. Aiden O'Connell. Like, what did we say about this kid? He was my third in the draft this year. If we go back, flip back the clock, you can go the first video or one of the first. And when we talk about the draft, I was high on this kid for a reason, and he's showing why. I mean, 4 touchdowns. Chargers even let Jacoby Myers throw a touchdown. I could not believe my eyes when I saw
Two
that.
for two. He threw 2
Yeah.
times and completed it all times.
And then Zamir White, I mean, just another really good tailback. Nobody really else in terms of running. That was all that good. I mean, I guess it was nice to see Amir Abdullah get some rushing yards, some love. Devontae Adams effect. I mean,
Devontae Adams.
8 receptions, 101, 1 TD. Trey
You
Tucker
know he
had
was
2
happy.
touchdowns. Oh, he was. You saw the smile, man. Michael Mayer, Jacoby Myers. I mean, this team just looked really good. They were out to prove something, and they sure did. So I'm really happy about this team. Really happy about the improvements they're making. I mean, Jack Jones to get that pick was really good. This defense was stout. And listen, before everybody, because I see it now, I get the excuses and all the other crap. Hey, it was on the Easton Stick. It would have been different if Herbert was there. Easton
No, it wasn't.
Stick's a good quarterback, man. Like, don't
He
hate
did
the
good
kid.
this game. He did pretty
Yeah,
good.
he was accurate. He only missed 9 passes. He threw for 257. He had 3 touchdowns. He had 1 interception. He was the bright spot on this team. So before I see all the hate and all the, oh, you beat a backup quarterback, this guy, keep this in mind, in his whole career, only lost like 4 or 3 games and won like 100.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this kid can play. He's really good.
And man, can we talk about Jack Jones? That interception that he had, the one from Easton Stick, the
Beautiful.
the one, yeah. This man, how I seen some crazy thing. This was his first NFL touchdown.
I actually did not know that.
This is his first touchdown. It's
Wow.
insane. Yeah. The can we talk about how also the Raiders fumbled 4 times and none of them were picked up from the Chargers. They were all recovered. And you go to Los Angeles fumbles, they fumbled
They were
5
all lost.
times and only
Or no, one was
and
recovered.
yeah, recovered 1 out of
Yeah.
the 5. Man, this defense was angry. You could tell. Um, I feel like Devontae Adams is that paper in a doctor's office that's like, "How are you feeling today?" And it's like the sad face and the happy face. Whenever Devontae Adams clicks the happy face, that reflects how good the Raiders are,
Oh,
or
dude,
really any
they
any
kill.
team that he's in. We do have to give some credit to Joshua Palmer, also getting 4 receptions for 113 yards and 1 touchdown. One of
Respect.
only 3 touchdowns that the Chargers scored.
I mean, hey, Quentin Johnston got one too. I mean, that was nice to see, and it's just, man, I'm happy for both teams. Let's put it that way. I love this
Yeah,
ass kicking, and hey, LA, you might actually, be
yeah,
good
you
now.
got something good out of this. You got something good out of this. Going on to the next game though, I'm happy. You know I'm happy. Broncos lost to the Lions 17-42. Man, if you're not loving Detroit right now, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Jared Goff had 5 touchdowns.
Wow.
Jared Goof had 5 touchdowns.
Goof.
Can we stop calling him Goof, by the way? When he's putting on a show like this, only missing 10 passes, throwing for 278 yards, getting 5 touchdowns. The biggest receivers, Sam Laporta continues to kill it, getting 5 for 56, but got 3 touchdowns. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, what a beast. 7 receptions, 112 yards, and 1 touchdown. And
Oh man, it's just I don't know what to think of this Broncos team, dude. I just don't. 1 week they're playing great, they got the wind of their back, they got their ears pinned back, they're kicking ass, and then this week happens, and it's like, what? Like, what happened? I blinked, and you guys suck again.
hey, but
But
Jerry Jeudy is the leading receiver for the Broncos, so that's something you can say
74
about them.
yards, positive.
Well, from only 3 receptions too.
Yeah, I mean, and Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery had a good game for Detroit. Amon-Ra, like you were saying, looked pretty
Yeah,
good.
the
Um,
rushing game in this was
yeah,
Jameer Gibbs 11 carries for 100, David Montgomery 17 for 85. Oh
I
my
think
god.
it speaks volumes about this Detroit team. I mean, really, just how deep they are. You really don't have one main back. You got two who can, really do damage, and I think even more than that personally. But they only, feature two, and I guess that's all you need. And it's just they kind of they're weird. They have some really good games. They have some
It's
games where
mean.
I questions. Like, I don't know what to make of this team. I
They're just
really don't.
weird.
They are. They're 100% weird.
No, I do give you that. Like last week against the Bears, they didn't perform up to standards, I feel like. But now getting further down the season, you're starting to see, they're sharing the ball. It's not like how earlier in the season, like week 2, would be like David Montgomery, 38 rushes, and
Right.
Jameer Gibbs got like 5.
I
It's
do
like,
like that part.
mhm. So we're starting to see that grow more and more. Hopefully, throughout even next season and this playoffs season.
Right.
Russell Wilson did not do terrible, but this is not the Russ that we were talking about, that we were seeing throughout the season, though. 18 for 32 for 223 yards and 1 touchdown. Getting
Dude,
sacked
even
2
backtrack.
times.
Like, go back a week ago. He was looking awesome. Granted, it's the Chargers, and we saw how bad they were, but still, like, Uh, Russ is such a teeter-totter as well. Like that's one thing about the NFL right now. Everybody just seems ungageable except for like the Niners and the Ravens.
hmm Bro, I'm sorry, this isn't off topic, but when they face each other next week, no, not even next week, in a couple days,
Yeah, this week.
I think today's like Wednesday because we
Right.
usually do these on Wednesdays,
It
but
does. It feels that
it will
way.
that game will feed families. That game is going to, I'm calling it game of the year. Ravens 49ers. You have holes in the defense that were somewhat shouted out. Actually, we're going to get into this when we talk about those teams. Going
Yeah.
to the next game, though, Vikings versus Bengals. Jake Browning. Just that Jake Browning. You should have never cut him, Minnesota. That's what he
So
said in this game.
can we talk real quick about like catch of the year? Did you see that?
Yeah, touchdown of the
T
year, if
freaking
anything.
Higgins. Oh my
caught it,
goodness.
stayed in bounds, switched to the other hand, reached over, touchdown. I loved that.
I
I
mean,
love to see that.
how he was getting like piggyback rided, and he still caught it. And the referee like even hesitated for a minute. He's like, "Do we even throw the flag?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
No. We gotta talk about both of these quarterbacks. So Nick Mullins and Jake Browning putting on master classes. Nick Mullins did have 2 interceptions, but he also scored. He also got 26 out of 33 for 303 yards and 2 touchdowns. Got Justin Jefferson throwing the ball as well for some weird reason. Cincinnati, though, on the other side, Jake Browning got 29 out of 42 for 324 yards and 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Obviously, that the highlight of this game was that T. Higgins touchdown.
Oh, yes. The
Moment
ref,
of beauty.
I'm pretty sure the ref just winged the flag anyways, but if I was the ref, I would have just stood there in amazement and been like, you know what? Nope, I didn't see any flag, just to make it that much better. No, but I mean, you're right. Nick Mullins and Browning had a just great games. These two teams are so much better than the record will show. Everybody thought since he was done when Burrow went down, now everybody's like, wait a minute, they got a shot. And Minnesota, I mean, they don't really have one quarterback. They have like a multitude of quarterbacks who look good in their offense. So like, what the heck, man? They got a shot. If they can continue to, win or at least play close, I mean, they got a shot.
Now, I have a question for you.
Hmm.
We so obviously this is the year of the backup quarterbacks, right?
Oh,
This-
100%.
So, are you afraid that we're going to see Jake Browning turn into Joshua Dobbs?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a concern there because, see, this is the issue with backup quarterbacks, and it happens at every level. Like, you could be watching a high school game, you could be watching a college game, pro game, doesn't matter. And as soon as the starting quarterback, goes down or has, a bad game, throws a few picks, everybody's like, hey, let's give the backup a shot. And then the backup will have like a game or two of being really good. And then everybody's like, oh, yeah, backup and just new starting quarterback, best quarterback we got. And then the backup starts to have like a bad game or something. Then they're like, yeah, no, I never supported the backup. I was always starter quarterback. Let's go. Um, it's a really growing issue. Um, I think people get way too invested in backup quarterbacks and then they live to pay for it because it's like, oh, they really weren't as good as we thought they were. And I think that's because, as a backup, you're definitely not a priority to the other team. Nobody really cares, so that way nobody really knows how to scout you. But once they get a chance to scout you, is usually when these backups who are quote unquote, better than the starters, because a lot of people deem them way too early. That's when they get figured out, and that's when they start to be bad. Just look at Josh Dobbs. Like, I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm saying, people kind of figured him out now, and he's not as good as people thought.
Hmm. Now, now I know this is kind of off topic, but I really think that when you're a backup and you know your spot, I think Tyler Huntley is a really, really ideal. Like that is a backup quarterback. I
Right.
don't know why I'm bringing up the Ravens so much. Probably they're my favorite team, but
A
Tyler
little biased.
Huntley is what I think of when I think of backup quarterback that stays a backup. He is the guy that can still win games with the team around him when Lamar Jackson can go down or skip a couple
Right.
plays or we won 58 by them. Let's have Lamar Jackson get out for the last quarter. And now we're seeing backup quarterbacks take this big leap of like, oh, I'm going to take the world by storm.
Him and Gardner Minshew are my two favorite in terms of backups because it's
Yeah.
like you can place them in anything, they're great. They understand their role. They're not, like, oh, I have to be starter to play. Like, to me, those are the two best though in the NFL.
Exactly. Going on to the next game though, Steelers versus Colts. Steelers.
Sorry.
Steelers continue to lose games. You know, it's was what I dread to say it. Was
No.
Matt Canada not the problem?
No. Okay,
I'm
but
sorry, but was he
let me
not the
address this.
problem?
Let me address this so that way the Steelers don't like IP hack us, find out where you live, go with pitchforks. Okay, Steelers fans, let me talk off the ledge. Okay, where he doesn't mean that. He's just kind of stupid sometimes, so forgive
No,
him.
I'm really thinking that.
Nope, shut up. Okay, so um no, but I mean Mitch Trubisky was the reason. Come on. I mean this guy sucks. All right, one touchdown, two interceptions. He's mediocre. He's not a starter. I I just and then on top of that, like offensive play calling was pretty mediocre. I know, Matt Canada was that, but I mean you got a chance to get a better OC, so it really pays off in the end. And all you who want like Tomlin gone, I really want you to think about this. He has worked with some of the weirdest, and I don't want to say worse because you're at the professional level, but like some of the most mediocre teams that, like, if you gave Chicago this roster, I don't believe you're above 500 or 500. He has done the most with the least. And yeah, I mean, that might be frustrating, the fact that, you're looking at a Super Bowl anytime soon, but I think you guys should be grateful for what he's done. I mean, he's kept you above sinking for so long. Don't turn on him.
Yeah. I don't think Tomlin's the issue either. As a Baltimore fan, I think he is a really, really fun coach to have a rivalry against because it's always competitive every year.
Exactly.
It's not like Michigan versus Ohio State where it's obvious who the winner is going to be.
Oh no. Oh, come on.
It's
I thought we were
obviously,
at one time. Oh,
I have to bring it up every chance I get. Like
he gets
you,
off
you know,
on it.
you know I have to. It's funny. It's weird to see Gardner Minshew, like when people call him. Yeah, he is a second string quarterback, but he's been playing since like week 5 because of Anthony Richardson. So I always think of him as like, oh yeah, he was the start. He's the starter for the Colts. No, he was the backup, and now he's the starter now. But yeah, this Colts team really could make the playoffs. They're second in the division, tied with Jacksonville. Do you see the Colts possibly making a deep playoff run?
No, I really just see like divisional as their ceiling personally. Like, I mean, some people would, consider that. When I hear deep, I think championship or obviously Super Bowl. So, um, in the actual term of what deep is, in my opinion, no. Just because, I think they're good. I like their heart. I love their fight, but I just don't think they're quite there. They need some pieces. I mean, having Anthony Richardson would have helped too. And again, this is no hate on Gardner Minshew, but he's just not the guy. He's a really good placeholder for now. He'll win you games, but he doesn't have that explosiveness that Anthony Richardson has. And I think that is, what separates these two. I also think they're a wide receiver to away in terms of offensively. But defensively, I think they're really good. I think they play for each other and play well. But maybe a few more stars on that defense before we're talking, deep playoff run with the Colts. But a really good win though. Minshew, he balled out, did his thing. Pittman had some really nice plays, before taking that shot. And then DJ Montgomery, Mo Alley Cox and Zach Moss, were huge in the air. They all did their part and added in a touchdown. So all around great game for them. And Steelers, don't take it too hard. Just you didn't have Kenny Pickett. If he's in there, this game's definitely closer, definitely better. Um, and I don't know what the Steelers need to go, forward aside from a cube, Kenny Pickett being there. So I think this roster's close to doing something big, but they just need maybe a few tweaks.
I like it. I like to hear that. Going on to the next game though, and I'm also happy about this win, man. How can you not be? Jaguars take the loss to the Ravens 7-20, 23. I almost said 27.
I was gonna
Um,
say what?
Now, when you look at this game, I watched this game live. When you look at this game, me and Cole were talking about this. How the best thing to see, the most entertaining thing to see in football today is when Lamar Jackson's comfortable. And this was a game when Lamar Jackson was fidgety, in my opinion.
Right.
We have two sides of Lamar Jackson. We have when he's fidgety, and we have when he's comfortable. Now he can play good when he's fidgety, like what he did here. You can see the stats, with passing, they don't look that impressive. But then you go to the rushing and go, oh, he also got 97 yards with rushing.
Right.
So this was definitely when Todd Monken was like, let's try and get Lamar Jackson to run some more like he used to. I think that's what this game was. And
yeah,
you add the 14 out of 24 passes with 171 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and then you add those 97 rushing yards. Doesn't seem all too bad now, in my opinion.
Well, and that's the thing again, having that experience with Todd Monken. I mean, it just follow him, it comes from Georgia, was a big reason for that dominating year a year ago, and now he's doing the same thing. And I love this about Todd Monken because, a lot of, and I think this is many offensive coordinators in the league here, to where they're kind of going like, oh, I got to do something. I got to, reinvent the offense. I got to add flash. And it's like, no, if you play to your team's strengths and you use the ability of your team that they have,
Exactly.
like Todd Monken does, okay, Lamar Jackson's a runner. He's having a rough passing game. Let's let him run. Let's utilize Keontae Mitchell, of course, before the injury. He was doing
Keaton.
great.
I'm sorry. What'd you
Keontae,
say?
isn't it?
It's
Is
Keaton,
that
my man.
Keontae? Keaton, all right. I was in the ballpark. We were close. Um, let's utilize Gus Edwards. Let's get Isaiah Likely more involved. And like that is the beauty of Todd Monken. That I mean, it just makes him so good. And of course, this defense, they did their part, and they ran some
Yes.
really nice plays. They confused Trevor Lawrence a bit. He missed 18 passes. That's a rarity for this guy. And if you look at it, I mean, their lead receiver was Jamal Agnew. He had 70 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 receptions. And
Yeah.
when you make, an offense this predictable and you take away, some of their sting, like Calvin Ridley didn't do a lot, Evan Ingram didn't do a whole lot. That's gonna help. And that's what makes this Ravens team so scary is they're able to limit your big players and they just shut you down. They suffocate you. It kind of reminds me of like an older Ravens defense. Not quite Ray Lewis and Ed Reed because
Yeah.
that was just different. But
Every time I say that, it's like, oh yeah, this kind of reminds me. Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no, not that quite. But I mean, they
Sorry.
are a very suffocating defense. They're really good.
Please forgive me. I'll never say that again. But yeah, it does. It's. I'm not saying that it is, but it reminds me of that way because how they utilize their linebackers.
Right.
Like what I said with like what we said with Ray Lewis. With you got Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith in there. Not their best game defensively, but to shut Jacksonville down to 7 points, like to a touchdown and a PAT, that's impressive. With how their track record has been Hold on, I'm gonna look at how they've been scoring so far this season. Yeah, they've been scoring pretty good all season, really. So to shut
Yeah.
this team down with pretty good passing record and pretty good in rushing and offense in general, only getting 7, that's a huge W for Baltimore's defense.
And to think too, like this is my last point, and then we'll move on here. But to show the improvement of this team, because if you look earlier on in the season, you look at the first few weeks with Baltimore, and it was like, the flash of defense, it was like a light, like a flickering light. You had the
Mhm.
first week against the Texans, you held them to 9, so that was really good. And then, the second week with the Bengals, you gave up 24, and it was like, I mean, it's okay,
It was a little
understandable, but
scary. A little
exactly, it
scary
was
right there.
scary. Then you go to week 3, you give up 22 to the Colts, and it's like, man, maybe this defense, they're not all they're cracked up to be. They're not all that good. And then everything kind of changes. I mean, look at week 4, they
This is
held the
when the Fire
Browns to
Nation
3.
attacked.
Exactly, exactly. So, as you continue, you see the growth of this defense. I'm not saying they didn't make mistakes, they didn't give up a lot, occasionally, but they have more good games than they do bad games. And that is a testament to coaching, to Harbaugh, I believe, to, the defensive staff, and even, look at the offense. Todd Monken, again, making the difference, helping Lamar get back to the way that he was. And it's fun to watch.
Exactly, exactly. Going on to the next game, though, we got the Bears versus Browns. Joe Flacco is the most elite quarterback to ever live. Better than
Oh
Tom
my
Brady.
goodness. Not
Better than
this
Eli Manning.
again.
Better than Peyton
Not
Manning.
this
Better,
again.
better than every quarterback combined, really, except for Lamar Jackson and
Oh
Jared Goff,
my.
obviously.
He beat the
um,
Bears. The Bears.
hey, but
3
legitimately though,
picks.
yeah, that was pretty bad. But he also threw for 374 yards with 28 passes. You even got some DTR in there with 1 pass for 5 yards.
See, that okay, like that dynamic just kind of baffles me. Like, don't get me wrong, Joe Flacco, he's still okay. He's not elite, sorry, Jacob. But he's
What do you
okay,
mean?
and
He's
he
the
does,
best quarterback of all time.
and he does a good job of, being a mentor, I bet, to DTR. But uh, it's really interesting to me to see that dynamic. And if I'm the Browns right now, like, you virtually have a playoff spot. Like, maybe
Yeah.
one more win away. Why not let the young guy just go at it? I mean, DTR, even if he loses, even if, he looks pretty bad, let the kid have some time, have some experience. But all in all, again, we'll get back to this game. Justin Fields, pretty bad game, 19 for 40, 7 rushes for 30. And again, this is the perfect example, if we go game by game comparison here, of an OC that doesn't utilize Justin Fields in the way Todd Monken utilizes Lamar Jackson. I mean,
Yeah.
only 7 rushes. Like, why not have some more designed running plays for Fields? Why not, get some plays to open up that possibility? Because, it's no secret the O line's not great in Chicago. I mean, 3 sacks for 18 yards was the sack total. In QB hits, you allowed your quarterback to take 7 shots. I mean, that's, never good, but you gotta do something. Maybe have some quick screens, have some over the middle throws, and then you can worry about, hey, now they're biting down. They think we're going short. Run with the QB. Give them a deep shot. I mean, this isn't hard. If I can see it and I don't get paid, how is somebody who's getting paid quite a lot not seeing this?
Yeah. 100%. Um you really took the words out of my mouth with this game.
Sorry.
But can we
Hey, I
can we
got you
talk
back.
can we talk about the Hail Mary play on the end of this game though?
Oh no,
We have to.
we do,
If we're
but
covering this game, we have to. DJ Moore, you had the ball in your hands, and it looks like you just kicked it out of your hands. Like it looked like you were just on your back, the ball right here, and then I can't lift my leg up, but it just popped right out of your leg. Like that hurt me.
It did. Like, oh man, I just
Like that was the closest Hail Mary throw that was not a complete Hail Mary. Oh,
I just don't know how you drop it, dude. Like,
it wasn't even a drop. It looked like you just flung it out of his
and I
hands.
think that was Darnell Mooney too. I don't. Was that DJ Moore? I thought it was
Wait,
Mooney.
wait.
Yeah, it was Mooney.
It was Mooney. I don't know why I said DJ Moore. Darnell. All right, let me restart it with Darnell. Darnell, you had this ball in your hands. I really don't get it. I don't understand.
It hurts.
It hurts, but Joe Flacco is elite, so I'm happy to see him get a win. uh, I really can't say anything more about that Hail Mary. That was so bad. Going on to I love to see a Buccaneers win, especially when Baker Mayfield puts on an MVP for performance for a game. This Baker Mayfield threw 22 out of 28 for 381 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Baker's a system QB.
Shut up. Shut your dirty mouth. Shut up. Shut up.
He played good.
Another besides the Baker Mayfield being elite, though, we got Rashid White, big part in this win too, getting 89 yards out of 21 carries. This receiving, I'm telling you, I know that they're losing Mike Evans, but in this draft, if they pick up a wide receiver, maybe round 2, second round, third round, get a really good wide receiver, this could be a really, really elite receiver core. You're going to get Chris Godwin. You're still going to have David Moore and Rashid White. I know he's a running back,
Trey
but
Palmer in there.
Yeah, Trey Palmer. And then if you add another guy to that receiving core, I like it's unstoppable. I see it. And
I agree,
and
yeah.
possibly add some more defense too.
You see, Cleveland, this is what happens when you let Baker throw and not trade him for a quarterback who was out of the league for like ever.
By the way, Shannon Sharp, I know you don't listen. I know no one listens to this
really.
actually. Shannon Sharp said on a podcast recently that Baker Mayfield did nothing for the Browns.
Wrong.
No, I don't know how you can say that when the guy was coached by like 4 different guys in like 2 years.
And he won their playoff game, ended their drought.
Not even one. He got them into the playoffs.
Well, yeah, that too.
Like that alone is an achievement. So I really think Tampa Bay no, I don't really think the Browns giving Baker Mayfield away and getting a guy that's has like 55 cases against him and getting him like $7 billion. That's a horrible, horrible decision. And he barely plays anyway. This is gonna be one of the worst transactions of all time.
Yeah.
In
I
NFL
want to
history.
cover the Packers side of things since you pretty much nailed the Bucks.
Exactly.
Jordan Love had a pretty good game. Only missed 10 throws. He was safe with the ball. Had 284 yards. Aaron Jones, kind of a weak game. 13 carries, 53 yards. In terms of wideouts, I mean, they kind of spread the love. Jaden Reed had some nice plays. Devontavian Wicks had some pretty good ones. Tucker Kraft. In the defense, well, I mean, yeah, y'all didn't. Y'all, you had 5 sacks, and that's about all. The only good things I
we
can
we
really
can we can
say.
go on the Tampa Bay's passing and see how good the defense did for Green Bay.
But I do have a question for you, and I'm very interested. I know I've answered this in the past, but I'm curious. I never got your take. If you're the Packers right now and you're looking at this Jordan Love performance, because he is flickery. He's shown some really promising games like this one, but then he's also had like some of the worst games ever. Like, I mean, let's just be honest. Um, what are you doing in terms of the quarterback position? Like, do you think about another QB this year, or do you think like, hey, this is our guy, we're supporting him, we go all in?
Purposely, I get him injured so that
Oh.
a backup can get him at. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. So I know this is weird for me to like talk about if the Packers gonna be good with a Lions hat on, but
It is.
so I'm gonna do a tiny segment for if we were GM and I'm doing my Packers forcefully. I'm trading Aaron Jones and um I'm getting help on this side. Not much help. I don't think O line is a big issue with Green Bay. I know that's a down year for O line in recent years, but I
Right.
don't see O line being the biggest problem. I see mainly the receiving core being the biggest problem with this team and the defense. Those are the two: the receiving core and the defense side of Green Bay.
That's fair.
So I keep Jordan Love because I see potential in him. I see a lot of promise, and it's not like a thing where not it's not a Joshua Dobbs situation where he played really good for like 3 games and then throws 7 picks in one game. It's nothing like that. I legitimately see a lot of promise in Jordan Love. I see him being able to will a team towards a victory. Just not this week though.
No.
But the reason why I say I'm trading Aaron Jones is because he never plays. He gets a toe scraped on the floor a little bit, and then he stays home for like 2 weeks. You want to talk about injury prone? Leave Lamar Jackson out of your mouth. Talk about Aaron Jones because this guy gets injured every week. It's horrible. That's why I traded for him in my fantasy because he's injured every week. I look at my phone every week again. He just got back. Yeah, that's personally what I'm doing. I'd pick up, I go into free agency, getting a defensive, side of the ball, getting maybe a couple extra linebackers, some cornerbacks. I know that you guys have who's your guys' cornerback? Uh,
Jair.
Alexander. But you can't have one good cornerback and then expect to be good on the defensive side of the ball. So I go on the free agency, pick up a lot of defense, go into the draft, pick up a really good wide receiver. That's the way I see it for Green Bay.
I like that.
And then get really good coaching with Jordan Love because he's had the years of like mentorship experience. How long was he behind um why
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. I'm stupid today. I cannot think of anybody. I couldn't think of Kareem Hunt. I cannot think of Aaron Rodgers. I'm stupid.
I'm stupid.
But yeah, how long was he? Like 3 years?
4 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3-4 years. So I think he's had enough experience in that realm. It's just getting on the field, and this year is that year for him to be on the field playing the ball. So I'm keeping it. I'm keeping Jordan Love, and Love hurts.
Dang. Cheesy.
Going on to the next game though, we got the Titans losing to the Texans.
Oh no, I got a rant for this game.
Bring it
I'm gonna
in.
save it. No, 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 no. Hold on. I'm gonna save
Okay.
it for another game or another segment here. But just know, Titans, I'm coming for you. I got some choice words. So be ready ahead of time. Um, Case Keenum, he did an okay job. 23 for 36, one TD, one interception. It was nice to see him back. He doesn't really get all the love anymore because he's not a starter. Devin Singletary, 26 carries, 121 yards. I mean, he's still pretty good. Everybody kind of shut him out. They're kind of like, yeah, he's kind of mid, but then he does that. Wide receiving play, I mean, Noah Brown had a pretty good day. Schultz had an all right day. And that was pretty much it for the Texans. Those were kind of the heart and soul. And then this defense had 7 sacks. 7. And then on top of that, 11 QB hits. Will Levis died. Like, guys, 7 sacks. 7. They were trying to set a record. They wanted to send a message. They were like, we hate that you changed and revolutionized our offense. Screw you. Like, they wanted this man dead.
The fact that the Titans were playing in the Oilers uniforms also.
Oh my goodness. And then as for Derrick Henry, I mean, oh my goodness. 16 carries,
9
9
yards.
yards. Will
9 yards.
Levis had more rushing yards than your best
And less
running
carries.
As for this offense, it's just pitiful. I've tried for so long to give y'all the benefit of the doubt. I'm done. All right, you try to literally have your franchise QB die. Your wide receivers pitiful. I mean, Traylon Burks was like the only good spot. Your
Poor
defense,
DeAndre Hopkins.
dude, yeah, and poor defense. Like, they did everything under the moon to help you guys, and you were just like, we don't really want to win today. We don't really care. Like, I'm not happy with you guys, and there's more to come. I'm ending this here, but you get ready. I'm telling you, there's another segment. We're dropping the gloves. We're fighting.
My thing on this is I'm kind of happy to see Tajay Spears getting a little bit of some love, getting 9 carries for 30 yards.
Whee!
Yeah. still less carries, but more yards than Derrick Henry. Man, Tennessee, why wouldn't you trade Derrick Henry at the deadline?
Doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't make sense. Like, teams will still trade for him despite his kind of lacking years, right? Like, we all know a team will throw a good maybe second round pick for Derrick Henry. I think we can agree on that, right?
I don't know.
Now, hold on. Don't think of would you do it. Think of you're an NFL manager. You see Derrick Henry on the trade block. They'll accept it for a second round pick for.
I guess.
Yeah, like you could have easily gotten a second. Keep Tajay Spears in there. People see potential in him. I see potential in him. Oh, it hurts. It really hurts.
I really don't.
Will Levis is dying in the background of Tennessee. People are trying to bury him in the old Oilers stadium, and it's sad. It's sad because you see Will Levis. He really wants his team to win. He's trying his best. He's trying so hard, but he's getting screamed at every snap. I really can't talk about this game anymore.
Me neither.
Next game, Jets versus Dolphins. Like, this is exactly what we expected. This is this is really what I expected from the Jets. 0.
This game was beautiful.
Game of the year.
Yes. 6 sacks. Again, which, hey, by the way, you did better than the Titans. Way to go. They give them 7.
Zach Wilson got sacked 4 times for 37 yards.
Jets offense continues to suck. No shock here. I don't know what you have to do with this team. I really don't.
I know what not to
Maybe
do. Don't throw in Trevor Simeon against Miami. That's what you don't do.
I was gonna say maybe relocate it, maybe like burn the stadium to the ground with nobody inside. Like at this point, I don't know what you have to do with the New York Jets. Just stop. Just stop. Just leave it alone. Um, Dolphins did what everybody thought they would. I mean, just utter domination. There you go. Yeah, Jalen Waddle laughs at your poverty team. This defense had a field day. They kicked your ass up and down. Brandon Jones had 2 picks. Yeah,
Can we talk
that's all I
about
got.
New York's leading in receiver is Xavier Gibson with 29 yards.
Who's Garrett Wilson?
Who's Garrett Wilson? Who is this scrub?
Yeah,
Getting 3 receptions for 29 yards.
only 4 targets too.
Yeah, only 4 targets. Xavier Gibson got 6 targets.
There's something wrong about that picture.
There wasn't a mom in the stadium. Miami is full of young people.
Also, can we mention too, Tyler Conklin got 7 targets. 7.
Most targets.
Oh my good lord.
He's open. No, he's not. Picked off.
Don't worry, guys. He's got it this time
Trevor
picked.
Simeon.
What the? Simeon. Keep it on Simeon.
Mike White got to throw some passes in there against the team that he was in last year. Also, if you didn't catch that.
We love you, Mike.
We love you, Mikey Whitey.
What in the what? So
Can we? Tua did really good, despite how bad the Jets are. We have to mention that Tua 21 out of 24 with 224 yards and 1 touchdown. Obviously, the rest of the touchdowns went to Raheem Mostert.
What did you just say?
I'm thinking of cheese, man. Monster.
This podcast
Monster
is gonna
mouse.
kill me.
But yeah, 15 carries, 42 yards, 2 touchdowns, killing, just stabbing the Jets.
How can you stab a jet? Because it's like made of iron.
You can stab a jet. Just go inside of it and stab one of the seats.
Okay, I thought we were getting darker here. Okay. That works. Okay. Point taken.
Yeah.
Point accepted.
This Miami team is gonna do okay in the playoffs. I see it, and I see them losing. I do not see them going to the Super Bowl.
Same.
I have nothing else to say about this game. I don't know what to say about this game.
You get it off.
All right, just get it off. All right, Patriots versus Chiefs. Did you see the video of Patrick Mahomes just casually tossing his helmet when he got picked off?
Yeah.
He was. It was the Kadarius Toney interception. I'm not calling it Patrick Mahomes interceptions anymore. It was a Kadarius Toney interception.
Oh, it was so
where
bad.
It was just him walking off and just it was just that casual too. I was kind of hoping for the Patriots to win for some reason. Just to see something happen. I want Patrick Mahomes just to have a stroke of anger, just to run through him to see him cry some more.
Are we gonna talk about Jerick McKinnon too? 1 for 1, 4-yard passing, 1 touchdown, aka should be the starting quarterback.
Should be the starter pack. Patrick Mahomes is washed. Got 2 interceptions. Only bums get those.
Exactly. Against the Patriots too. Come on, bro.
Well, one of those interceptions is
Kadarius Toney.
A Kadarius Toney interception. Yes. Kadarius Toney has 4 targets, by the way. When Rashid Rice is getting 9, we can see who's the favorite. Also,
Also, shout out to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, man, finally getting a touchdown. There you go, Clyde.
oh yeah, 4 receptions for 64 yards. Leading receiver, obviously Rashee Rice, 9 receptions for 91 yards and 1 touchdown. I want to talk about this New England defense
Sure.
because actually, no, I want to talk about their offense. I don't know why I said defense.
Okay.
Bailey Zappi was getting like he did pretty good.
Yep.
Like for as far as Bailey Zappi is, he did decent. 23 out of for 31, 180 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick. Like as far as this Patriots offense has been, especially against Kansas City Chiefs defense, which is apparently the best defense Kansas City's ever had.
Apparently.
Yeah, but yeah, 17 is pretty good in my opinion. And then you got Kevin Harris getting 1 touchdown for 25 and 4 carries, 25 yards, 1 touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott got similar numbers but more carries. 11 carries, 0 touchdowns. Do you see somewhat promise in this Patriots offense from this game?
Well, I love the QB position. I mean, I've said this for a while now. Bailey Zappi, I love this guy. I mean, I was thinking him or Malik Cunningham are going to be the guy to step up, and Bailey Zappi is, and Malik Cunningham, they released him because I think new quarterbacks kind of scare Bill Belichick, not going to lie. Um,
That and receivers that are faster than 4.7
yes,
as a
yes, that
40-yard
too.
dash.
So, I really like the look of this offense. I think Bailey Zappi, he's the new Brady, man. Like he's their new franchise.
Hold on.
No,
Hold on.
I meant he's the new franchise quarterback. Okay, he's not
Brady is a little. That's a little bold.
I'm telling you
I,
though, he has that potential to be that good. That's what I'm saying, and
that's adventurous. I'm
it
calling that's
is.
adventurous.
It is, but I'm telling you, come back when he's an elite quarterback, or when he falls on his face and is terrible. Either way, I'll accept it.
He has 9 Super Bowl rings. He's been in the year for 4 years. He's been in the league for 4 years.
Been in the league for 4 years. His actual name is Brady Tom.
His name is Tom Trady. That's the.
Yeah, it's not the same guy. Completely different.
Completely different. But the point I was trying to make is I'm just surprised that with how horrible just a dumpster fire this Patriots offense has been to score 17 against the Chiefs. I just find it kind of surprising to me.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think they're finding their groove though, and with this top pick they're gonna get, like, if you add somebody, you add like a Malik Neighbors to this wide receiving core, you add a really standout running back, and get rid of Ramondre Stevens for something, or like
Cool.
you know,
Cool.
yep,
I don't want you to get excited. They're gonna get a quarterback.
I hope not,
I
but you're
know we
probably
don't
right.
want them to. Cole, it's okay.
I think Bailey Zappi's that dude, man.
I know we all do, but Belichick's leaving. It's okay. Everything will be okay, Cole.
I'm not ready.
They're getting a quarterback. I
I have
think
a feeling you're right.
last time I checked the mock, they have the second overall.
So they'll
So
probably get Drake May or Caleb Williams,
or
even though
Caleb
they
Williams.
shouldn't.
Or Bo Nix.
Hey, Bo, Jaden Daniels, maybe?
I see Bo. I see Bo as a good Patriots quarterback. I could legitimately see that.
Bailey Zappi's the way
I know,
to go.
Cole. I know. But they're gonna do it. They're gonna get a quarterback.
Sadly, yes.
Going on to the Italian mobsters game now.
Oh
Giants.
no.
Oh no. Oh no. Saints beat the Giants 24-6. Tommy DeVito. I'd watch out, Saints head coach. You might get a bomb at your door from the mob.
Oh my God.
because it's not it's Tommy DeVito, his
Got
agents.
them connections,
Yeah, he has a lot of connections. He's just he's don't expect to see your kids anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, he's a mobster. All right. No,
Yo, you talk like this. Oh, I can't do it. You
all
can
jokes.
do it.
He just has a New York accent to him.
Please
Um,
stop. You're killing it.
in all seriousness, now Tommy DeVito, I know he had no touchdowns and didn't do good yards wise, but I still have faith in him that he can be a replacement for Daniel Jones, a $45 million backup. Um,
Okay, we need to have a talk though. Like Giants, bring it in, bring it in.
all right, bring it
Okay,
in.
listen. I don't know if you and the Titans had a deal or something, or like a betting competition to say who could kill their quarterback more. Um, but what is wrong with both of you? Okay, Giants, you let DeVito get sacked 7 times and allowed 8 QB hits. Like, are you trying to kill him? Did he threaten you guys with the mob? Like, what
I'm
happened?
telling you, dude, the Mobster Association.
There's something because this like they didn't even try. They were just like, here, go kill him. All right. Um, and honestly, Giants, just continue, just tank the rest of your season. Just get a better pick. This is just sad to watch. I don't want to. I didn't watch this game. I don't want to watch any of your games. Just honestly, pack it in for the year. Get a good pick.
Yeah. I do have a question for you though, Cole. Do you
Shoot.
still have faith in Tommy DeVito? I know.
You,
All right. I know this. It's a stupid question because it's one bad game, and he's been getting the Giants wins, and that's all they can really ask for is just to get some wins. But do you still have faith in him? And if you get, I can't remember where the Giants were the last time I checked the mock draft, but I think they're gonna get maybe around the 6th, maybe 7th overall pick.
right.
Where would you? All right, wait. Let's get out of the huddle.
Oh yeah, we can
My
back up.
bad. My bad. My bad. So where do you go if you're the Giants and you have maybe a 7th, 8th overall pick? Because you have Daniel Jones and Tommy DeVito, and Tommy DeVito is obviously the answer. If I was getting asked this question,
So here's so to answer the first bit, like, do I trust Tommy DeVito? Answers, I'm interested. See, I think okay, between Jones and DeVito, I want DeVito. I would start DeVito personally over Jones. I'm over Jones. But then this question comes about like, well, the old line really kind of sucks, and they're they really didn't seem to care about DeVito. So I'd be watching that's why I'm saying I don't know if he's the franchise guy, but I definitely would trust him over Jones currently. Um, I'm not quite there yet on in terms of franchise. But to answer the other question, if I get this pick, what am I doing? And that's one heck of a question. So what I would think about is seriously like, all right, I think you got the weapons. I think you got the wideouts, you got the tight ends, you got a really good running back. You're gonna have to re-sign him, yada yada yada. I think you're good offensively in terms of that. The part that I would think about is who's the best available O lineman or who is the best available defensive player. And more so, like more specifically, I think I'd get D line, not
D line.
linebackers, because I like your linebackers and I like your DBs to some degree. I still not huge on Deontay Banks, but he gets the job done. So I'd go D line or O line with that top pick because
Just
I
helping out that
would,
line on both sides.
yeah, because the
Whoa!
what?
I think breaking news just
Oh,
happened.
what happened?
A couple hours ago, ex Buccaneers star Williams. Hold on, Mike Williams passed away.
Oh man.
Oh, sorry to just bring this
No,
up.
uh, rest
Rare
in peace.
bacterial sepsis.
Oh man.
Ooh,
God bless
yeah,
him. Hopefully he's
36 years old.
in the joy of heaven. That's what I got to say about that. But
He passed
coming
away at 8:20 a.m.
oh
Uh,
man.
ooh, man.
Yeah, I mean
Let's
that
let's get let's get 10 moments of silence for him really
yeah.
quickly
We'll
before we
do a
move
10
on.
seconds of silence here.
All right. We
All
hope
right.
all of his family and loved ones are doing well, and um, we hope that everything on that side is doing well. But
Absolutely.
we
Thoughts and
can,
prayers.
yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to everyone involved. But we have to get back on this topic though, as Cole was mentioning.
Right.
Um, getting help on
Yeah.
the O line or D line.
Yeah, I
Cole,
think that's where you gotta address to help out this team, and you really gotta start in the trenches because I really think you got in terms of skill positions you got everything you could ask for, and as for the quarterback, honestly, I would think about it like maybe fourth or later because if there's somebody good around that it's a proven guy, has the intangibles. I haven't really been looking too much so far at mocks. I wait a little bit to do that, so I couldn't go really in depth. But if there's a good quarterback that slides down that far, I definitely think about taking, a quarterback, just kind of, to keep competition up, and, maybe you can stumble into a franchise guy like kind of like the Purdy story. But no, I definitely would not be my first instinct to go up and get a QB. I definitely look at O line and D line, win those trenches, because that's where the battle starts and ends ultimately, in my opinion.
I agree. Man, it's so hard going from something like that to back to the
Absolutely. Yeah.
show. Um, going on to the next game though, let's give a round of applause to the Panthers. Finally, getting their
You
second win
did
of the
it.
season. Maybe making the Bears go to a second overall pick.
That's what it's looking like, man. You never know.
Oh man, this game was horrible. This game sucked.
Yeah.
18 for 24 for Bryce Young, 167 yards, no touchdowns or no picks. Chuba Hubbard, thank you, Chuba. Man, I'm so happy that I accepted a trade for you.
Pretty
22
mediocre.
carries. Shut. Hey, he's getting me points. 22 carries for 87 yards. Keep feeding Chuba because it's
Fade
working
him.
apparently. Can I remind you that no touchdowns were scored for
The
Carolina?
Panthers. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say there was touchdown.
No
Well, a
touchdowns
touchdown.
scored. All of these were field goals. So
Oh,
MVP of this game is Eddie Pinario. Yeah. Making 3 out of 3 for field goals.
way to go, my boy.
MVP of the game.
That's my boy right there. So I will say about this game,
Oh,
which I
yeah.
feel
Okay,
like,
we have anything to say about this game. That's fun.
yeah, I feel like I say this every week. Atlanta, you have offensive talent. Use it. You got Algier. You got Robinson. You got Kyle Pitts. You got Drake London. Like, You got Cordell Patterson, you got Van Jefferson. I feel like a dang broken record because every week I gotta come on the show and say, use your offensive skill players, please.
You know Arthur Smith won't do that because he
No,
doesn't like fantasy.
it's
He
gotta
doesn't
be
like
that.
fantasy football.
It's gotta be
Which,
something.
if you're holding a team back from what they could be because of fantasy football, you should
Is
not
that
be
what
a
he
head
said?
coach. He doesn't. Yeah, he said he doesn't like fantasy football. You don't know that?
No, I didn't. Like, is that the reason he won't use the skill positions?
I'll pull up. He does not like fantasy football. It's horrible. Because that's legitimately what he said, is that he does not care about fantasy football, and I feel like that's the reason why he's not letting these people cook.
Let him cook.
Is not what Arthur Smith is doing. Doesn't care about your fantasy team, but there are times. But oh my god, Falcons head coach Arthur Smith does not care about your fantasy team, but there are times when we wonder if he cares about actual football.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's pretty realistic.
So people are thinking that since he's said this before and he really believes this, that that's why he's not letting, people like Kyle Pitts get, more production, or Bijan Robinson get more production, or anybody on this team get more production. That's what people are thinking, and that's honestly what I'm thinking. In Atlanta, you lost to a team that is selling home stadium tickets, home seats for 45 cents. You cannot talk
Wow.
Atlanta. You cannot talk Atlanta. Did you see that too?
Yes.
Panthers are selling tickets for 45 cents.
Wow.
And Falcons lost to that team. Relocate. Honestly, just relocate at this point.
Gotta try something. I mean, oh my goodness.
Burn the team to the ground.
Them and the Jets, man. Just go somewhere else.
Just please. Y'all can hop on the New York Jets plane and then fly away. Go somewhere else. Go to Mexico. Go to Japan.
The Japanese Falcons.
The Japanese Jets. That rolls off the tongue more.
That's nice.
Japanese Jets.
I do want to do a breaking news real quick. College update, which it shocks me, because there's no way I saw this coming. Syracuse is losing to South Florida at halftime, 31-0.
What?
What in the
What world are we living in?
I thought Syracuse had this game slam dunk, hook, line, sinker, one of the easiest bowl games, and here we are. USF is up 31-0. What? Oh, I thought I'd bring that up because I'm in shock. I did not see that coming.
Shout out to Shohei Ohtani for getting a Rams custom jersey with his number and name on it too. I'm gonna say that really quickly as well.
Yeah.
Getting that
Make
bank.
that money.
Well, actually, he's not gonna get paid until like in 10 years.
Well, I mean,
it's still money.
Yeah.
Going on to the next game though. Commanders versus Rams. The Rams are actually playing right now. Rams 20-7 in the third quarter.
Over the Saints. And right now their kicker has 8 points. Thank you, Harviskis. Sorry,
Going on to the game they played last week though. Matthew Stafford is killing it. Like, I love seeing it.
I'm sorry. He was on my fantasy. He's not going to be my bad this week. I needed to get that out. Sorry.
Sam Howell sucks. Anyway,
he also got injured.
Yes. Matthew Stafford
I don't know
is
why
killing
I proceed to laugh at that.
Matthew Stafford is killing it in LA right now. Like he's
He
been
is.
doing good really consistently for the whole season, I think, except for when he got injured. Throwing 25 for 33, 258 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams as well. Oh my God. When I tell you Sean McVay knows that when Kyron is hot, that's when you feed him the ball.
He
That
uses
like
common sense.
27 carries, 152 yards, and 1 touchdown. Kyron, you absolute madman.
See,
And
Falcons, this is how you utilize skill positions.
you're
Sorry.
also seeing Cooper Kupp kind of come back to form because a couple weeks ago, we were kind of seeing him fall off the edge a little bit, kind of getting bottom of the receiving charts. Now he's all the way
Right.
at the top with 8 receptions with 111 yards and 1 touchdown, killing it, just murdering Washington.
RIP in the
Washington,
chat.
yeah, and then but this defense let Washington get up to 20 points. This is kind of a close win for the Rams. So the way I see it, biggest struggle is the aging with this Rams team, but it's also a thing you can really make up for with just a good draft. And you're seeing with Puka Nakua, that's your best guy. That's your best receiver, and then you also got Kyron Williams, who I don't. He's not too old. Yeah, no, he was drafted in 2022. Yeah, you're also getting this insane luck with drafting. Like Kyron Williams and Puka Nakua were round 5 picks, and they're killing it.
Yep.
So Rams have something going on where they just have this secret scouting report of like who's gonna fall in the draft and then who you can pick up that'll like kill it. Someone has a glass ball that can read the future in Rams corporate.
So,
Even though they
Chris
play in the same
Rodriguez.
stadium, the Chargers do not have that ball. Even though they both play in SoFi.
They have the
Um,
detect bad coaches and hire them. That's their
yeah,
specialty.
yeah.
But for Washington though, I mean Chris Rodriguez, he's like begging. He's like, "Hey guys, I got 10 carries only, but hey, I get 35 yards. Can I have some extra love and affection and get the ball?" And
No.
they're like, "No. We'll throw 50 more passes with Sam Howell. Don't worry about it."
I don't get like even if your running back room, even if your back room is like mediocre, you still can't have your quarterback throw like 90 times a game.
Exactly.
You still can't have that happen because we're going to see what happened here. Sam Howell got injured and we had to let Jacoby Brissett cook.
Bro,
Jacoby
Bertha took.
Brissett got
No, I mean he
8
did
for
okay.
10, 8 for 10, 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Is Jacoby Brissett the way to go, or is Sam Howell?
I still think Sam Howell. Look, I mean, when you get injured, I mean, you can't really be blamed. And this whole year, he's played good. He
Yeah.
just hasn't had a lot of help. So no, I still think Sam Howell's the guy. Also, I do want to say, um, is this finally the point where Washington's like, okay, Ron Rivera, we've had enough of you. Bye. Because I mean, they're only 4-10 for like what seems like forever. Like Washington fans have just been in a state
Suffering
of
for
just
years.
sadness for like ever.
Yeah. So the way I see it is, we all know that they have new owners now. This season is going to be not a complete turnaround, but a turnaround nonetheless. I see them maybe getting 6 wins.
I can see that.
6, maybe 7 wins. New coaching. You got better draft capital. You have some money now since you guys just got bought. And, the way I see it, you guys are going to. I see. Let me look in the glass ball in the Ram Stadium really quick. In SoFi Stadium, I see the glass ball seeing you guys 3 seasons away from having a winning record. Still far
You
away,
kids and
but
your tricks.
I know that sounds far away, but it will be worth it when it finally gets here. I don't know. What way do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, they're a few years away, like you're saying. It just it's tough, man. Like it just seems like whenever they lose somebody, they get like 10 other guys who are just as good, if not better, and it's like, well, shit. Who's next
uh,
on the docket?
let's go to the next game though. This is probably the most surprising thing out of me this week. The Cardinals put 29 points up against the 49ers. Yeah, get your ears cleaned because I'm
Can
saying
you
it
say
right.
that again?
The Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals, the team that me and Chooch projected to go 0-17.
Yep.
They're now 3-11, still horrible, but they scored 29 points against the one of the two teams in the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah, that
I'm
doesn't
not.
sit right
I'm
with me.
not. It really doesn't. So I ask you before we get into like the game really quickly, like before we talk about the game,
Yeah.
does this show holes that maybe next? I keep on saying next week, but it's not that far away. That maybe the Ravens could pick up. Does this show holes in the defense in the 49ers that the Ravens could be like, oh yeah, this is an exploit. Let's see this happen. I know I'm talking about this game a lot, but I'm telling you, when I first saw a picture of Christmas games,
Right.
and then I seen 49ers versus Ravens, I was like, dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No.
sent it to you. I hope you remember. I sent it to
I
you,
do.
and you were like, I don't know about that one, but I'm excited about this one. I go, no, dude, this game is going to feed families. And
You
now
did
we're
call
seeing
me.
it happen. We're seeing it happen right in front of us. So the question:
Um,
does this show some holes in the defense that another bird team can pick up?
I love that. Another bird team. Um, it's an interesting question for sure. But I don't think so. I think this was kind of just like a whatever game. If anything, and again, here I go talking about college again, but like in college, they would call this game a looking ahead game. And to me, that's what this was. I mean, it's a little spookier. The Cardinals even had a chance to pull off, a shock here because of that. But no, I think this was kind of the 49ers going, all right, we don't want to give anything too major away. We know who we're playing, we know who's on the radar. Let's just, let's do enough to win. We don't have to be impressive. In my opinion, that's what happened. That this was definitely a look ahead to the next game type. So, um, I don't
Okay.
think the Ravens could get much from this game, but I do think, I mean, with Todd Monken and Harbaugh working together on the same staff, that they're going to be ready. And just like Kyle Shanahan, I mean, he's going to have his guys ready. That's going to be one hell of a game for sure.
Who do you
But
think is going to win? What's your prediction?
ooh, that's putting me
This
on the
is like
spot.
Super Bowl excitement levels for
It
me,
is. It
a fan.
is. um,
Super Bowl 2012 rematch. The lights will go out again.
yeah, we gotta get. So actually, I have a funny story about that. Remind me about the lights going out. I'll tell that story after I give my prediction here. So
Okay.
I think this game is gonna be like back and forth to say the least. I think you're gonna see a lot of really good defense. You're gonna see a lot of really good offensive play. But here's what Lamar Jackson has had a lot of experience in these type of games. And experience is something that Brock Purdy does lack. And I think because of that, Brock Purdy makes one mistake, and that's the difference. I think Ravens will win. It'll be extremely close.
Mhm.
Extremely close.
You don't put any score prediction out?
I'm gonna go 31-28. Ravens win.
Okay. I think it's gonna be in the 40s.
Really?
Both teams in the 40s. I don't like giving precise record predictions because you never know.
That's true.
You like the stadium could burn down before the game. For all you know.
So what's your prediction?
I also have Baltimore winning. It's scary though. Like as a Baltimore fan, you know that Lamar Jackson can be inconsistent. You
Sure.
know, like you know that I was just mentioning earlier, he can have games where he's very, stuttery. Just should I move out of the pocket? Should I not? Should I scramble? Should I not? Like he has a lot of mind games he has to hurdle through. So if Lamar Jackson is comfortable in the pocket and like is comfortable, we're seeing how he pieced up the Chargers is what I'll say, or
Right.
the Chargers or the Lions. If we see that type of a Lamar that we've seen in the Chargers and Lions game, then I think Baltimore will do great. But when Todd Monken, if he sees Lamar Jackson stuttery, he's not making the best passes, he's a little stuttery in the pocket. I think they'll do like you said, Tom Monken. He's getting to a point where he's letting Lamar, like he's studying Lamar. He knows when Lamar wants to run more. He wants to have more design options for running whenever he wants to pass the ball. I think with that, they'll have more design plays of what Lamar is feeling comfortable with at the moment. Nonetheless, I still think Baltimore is going to come out on top.
I like that.
Yeah. Nothing against 49ers. I think 49ers are a great team, but Baltimore is going to take you into it. Let's start with this game, though, because, we talked about it long enough. Brock Purdy.
So
Brock
I
Purdy
do want to tell the quick
oh, yeah, the
story
lights out
though.
story. Lights out story.
Yeah, so I have a friend, and for those of you who watched the college football show back when we were on Twitch, and it was Underassured Coyote 62, I used to have quite the array of people who would come on, and one of them was named Shane or Finesse the Magic. And he would come on sometimes and pick with us. He was telling me a story about, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think it was that Super Bowl with the Ravens and the Niners, because he was in the SWAT team at the time. Um, so there, when the lights went out, they were actually on call because nobody had any idea of what was going on. So they
That's
showed up
crazy.
to the stadium, um, and they like nothing happened, obviously, but they were like
Yeah.
ready to go, and everybody's
Bro.
heads were like, "What the hell is going on?" So, I
That's
just thought
crazy.
that was pretty funny, and for somebody like to know somebody who was there because it was in the Superdome, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, yeah, I just thought it was really insane. Like, hey man, we're here. Let's go. What's going
Was
on?
he
So,
able to, like, meet any of the players or anything like that? Do you know?
not that he ever told me, but I'm
Okay.
sure if you're there, I'd imagine you'd meet somebody.
Bro, if I was there, I'd, all right,
Joe
nothing. All right, let me go run.
Flacco.
Go, no. You kidding me? If I was, no. What's up, Lewis?
Yeah.
What's up, Ray Ray? What's up, Eddie? I'm not saying hi to Joe Flacco on that team. All right, I'm
You
not
said
doing.
he's the most elite quarterback. Come on, give him some
Yeah, he's
love.
good. I'll say hi to him, but that's not my target. That won't be my target for trying to get a high five from a Ravens player.
I would have went to Patrick Willis in the other direction. I'd have been like, because man, that watching that guy play football, he was special. But I mean, so was Ray Lewis. But I love
Yeah,
Patrick
ain't
Willis.
nothing like Ray.
All right, but let's
Uh,
talk about this
let's talk
game
about
now.
we've spun off for too long. Let's talk about this
So,
game now, though. Cardinals versus
Kyler
49ers.
Murray, Kyler Murray, I'll start there. He had a good game. He did his thing. 211 yards, only 13 missed throws, got sacked 3 times, threw 2 interceptions, had one TD. James Conner had a TD. He's been really good this year. Trey McBride was another huge emphasis of this team, 10 receptions, 102 yards. Also fumbles. Arizona, like, did y'all not practice ball security? You recovered 4 of them, but you had 5 in total. And that's just not going to
Yeah.
cut it, especially against a really solid team who is a Super Bowl contender, the Niners. And then as for the system quarterback, yeah, Brock Purdy still seeing it, still hating it. 242 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, since he's a system quarterback, I'd imagine he threw picks. Oh wait, he didn't.
Nope.
So yeah, there's that. Christian McCaffrey was still Christian McCaffrey, over
Yeah.
100 yards rushing, 1 TD. And also the leading catcher, too. 5 receptions, 72 yards, and 2 more TDs to add on to
I
that.
want to point something out
Yeah.
with the receiving stat. George Kittle, this is the first time I've seen him in a while, like sort of break into the top 3 of the receiving guys. 2
Right.
receptions, 54 yards. This was kind of a weird day for the 49ers because you see 45 points and you go, oh, did like 3 receivers get a touchdown? No, it was just Deebo Samuel got 2 and Christian McCaffrey got 2 plus the one Christian McCaffrey run in. Oh, so no Ayuk or Kittle or Kyle Juszczyk or Juan Jennings. Nope, just Debo and Christian.
Yeah, they had it on lock.
Yeah, because you don't really see Christian McCaffrey getting receiving touchdowns.
Not too often.
Yeah, no. And then I'd at least like to see George Kittle get more production. So I like
That's a
seeing
good
that.
point.
Yeah. How many touchdowns? He only has 6 touchdowns. George Kittle.
It's kind of sad.
Georgie. Yeah. Why isn't George getting like, man?
Show him some love, Shanahan.
Yeah. Wait, George Kittle was a round 5 pick.
Yeah, there's something about that number.
I don't. Yeah, there's something about round 5th picks. People are going to
Turning
trade like a former number 1 overall into like 5 round 5 picks. This will save our franchise.
I'm telling you, there's something about that. Maybe round 5 is like
I never knew he got drafted in the 5th round though. I thought he was high overall draft pick.
No.
But yeah, as far as I see it, it was kind of scary seeing Cardinals get 29 from the 49ers. But it's just another 49ers day. This is just another day in the office, just wiping them, whatever opponent they have up there. And
also, Christian McCaffrey still not getting talked about in the MVP voting, and I'm still pissed about it.
Did you see what they were saying about each other though?
What's that?
They asked Brock Purdy to go, who do you think should win MVP? And then he said, oh, Christian should win MVP. Christian McCaffrey should win MVP.
It's not
and then
even
they asked
a question anymore.
And then they asked Christian McCaffrey, and they go, oh yeah, Brock should win MVP. They're both being nice, like being really nice to each other. And be like, oh no,
I love the humility.
No,
you that's awesome.
Oh no, nah, you should.
True teammates.
Yeah. If it goes to anybody, it can go to freaking a Commanders player. They'll still love each other. They'll still
brotherly love, man. Those are you guys. You versus the world.
I know, right? Well, it's probably the world against the 49ers if we're being real.
Yeah, Ohio State looking at you.
Yeah, Detroit clothing brand copy off. All right, going back to next game though, Cowboys. Oh, don't you love to see it? Don't you love the smell in the air when Dak Prescott is such a fraudulent player?
Happens so much.
But we're finally seeing it. We're finally seeing a bad game from Dak Prescott and go, see? See over there?
Correct.
Getting 21 attempts for only 134 yards. See? Josh Allen didn't do great either, but he threw 15 times and got 94 yards and 1 touchdown. But James Cook. Oh my God, James Cook. Let Cook cook. We're telling you. 20, this is insane. 25 carries for 179 yards and 1 touchdown. That's insane.
See, but this is what I want to talk about too. This is Joe Brady. I'm pretty sure he was the one in charge since like so many weeks ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody in the comments, but this is him. I mean, he was the big guy who helped LSU 2019 be LSU 2019. And then here we go again. He goes, "Hey, Josh Allen's really struggling when we make him throw like a million passes. So let's get this guy involved. Let's let James Cook cook." And when you do that, here you go. 31 points against a very good Dallas defense. 25 carries, 179 yards, 2 catches, 42 yards. And then as for his touchdown production, 2. He had a receiving and a running. Like, I'm sorry, man, Joe Brady, give this guy some love. I mean, give him his props. He has done one hell of a job, and against, like I said, an incredibly good defense.
Exactly. Well, even Josh Allen at the end of the game was saying, "Let James Cook cook. Let him cook."
Exactly.
He was actually saying that, which I thought was funny. And also, Cole, I know this is going to be the first time we've seen this in a while, and probably the first time we'll see this the whole season. Stephon Diggs was number 1 for the Bills receiving, getting 48 yards.
Finally.
The one time Josh Allen doesn't throw like a 300-yard game, he's number 1 in the receiving.
See, maybe that's the key.
Guess what? He got 5 targets and 4 receptions.
Wow.
Is Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs finally starting to love each other again, like they should be?
I hope so. I hope so.
Because when you get those two names and you go, "Oh my god, that should be a whole, like dangerous against defenses." No,
Super Bowl caliber.
Yeah, but we haven't been seeing that, so it's finally. I'm really happy to see Stephon Diggs be number 1, even though it was a very low productive day for Josh Allen. As far as Josh Allen productive days go,
and also
overall,
compare it to Dallas. I mean, Dak had the higher passes. They only put up 10 points. He was 21 for 34 with the pick. Tony Pollard didn't do much. CeeDee Lamb was the lead receiver and only 53 yards. That's bad. Like,
yeah, it's
something
something when it's something when you have the guy on the other ball throwing 15 times, completing 7, and then your guy gets 48 yards. And then it's another thing when your guy is throwing 21 completions and your leading guy has 53 yards. That's kind of rough.
Yeah, no lie.
It's but I'm happy to see Dak Prescott struggle. 21 for 34, only getting 134 yards. You scum on the planet. No.
Oh,
okay. I don't hate him that much. But yeah, I'm just happy to see. I'm just happy to see Dak Prescott, the Cowboys team in general, just get pointed out as fraudulent.
This doesn't shake the Cowboys faithful, though. They're still winning the ball.
Yeah, apparently this is their year, which is what they've been saying ever since they won the Super Bowl back when Toy Story wasn't even around. Overall, this game was pretty entertaining. Nice to see this struggling Bills team pick up a win against Dallas.
Facts.
Going on to the last game, though, a big upset. 3rd loss in a row for Philadelphia. Eagles 17. Seahawks 20. Do you hear that? Seahawks.
With Drew Lock.
With Drew Lock. With Drew Lock.
Dude, I'm speechless. Right. I genuinely don't know what to say.
And it was like last couple minutes in the game, you throw a touchdown to who was it?
It was Jackson Smith-Njigba, I think.
Jackson Smith-Njigba, the rookie that hasn't really had a really standout game, but this got them the win. A great pass, pretty. I wouldn't say extremely tight coverage, but a guy was on him. I'll say that. Kenneth Walker getting 19 carries for 86 yards, 1 touchdown. Drew Lock didn't do bad. He got
Let him
22 out of
cook?
33 for 208. Yeah, let Drew Lock cook. 22 out of 33 for 208 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Hurts, what happened?
What
what
happened?
what happened? This is not the Jalen Hurts that we were seeing at the beginning of the season. Everyone can tell that. This is not the same Jalen Hurts. 17 for 31, 143 yards and 0 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. This is not the Philadelphia that we've been seeing. They're still going to get in the playoffs, no doubt, but this is a lot less of what I saw. This is a lot less of the expectations when I was seeing when I was predicting. I had them going 16-1. Yeah.
Also, can we talk about the madman Pete Carroll somehow getting away with this again? Like, he has a non-playoff caliber team, and they're going to make the playoffs. Like, how does it always happen?
It's something about Lumen Field, dude. It's
It's
something about
be.
that. They are third in their division. They're tied with Los Angeles, but it looks like LA is going to get another win, right? It looks like
Yeah,
LA's
they're
going to.
dominating.
Yeah. Current little update to you. Rams. It's fourth quarter. Rams have 30. Saints have 7.
And their
Go back
kicker
to
has
this game
12
though.
points.
DeAndre
Sorry.
Swift getting 18 carries for 74 yards. Still seeing same amount of production from DeAndre Swift. It's like I really can't tell this Philly team, dude. I really I want to. The only touchdowns that came out of this game was Jalen Hurts' 2 rushing touchdowns. By the way, Jalen Hurts had a really great game on the ground. 13 carries for 82 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just having that mentioned.
Right.
But it's the end of that game was crazy. Jackson Smith finally getting a really amazing game-winning touchdown for his team by Drew Lock. The thing is though, I don't know if I trust Seattle to make a smart decision in this draft because it's obvious that they need a franchise quarterback. So if you were them, if you were the Seahawks, and this is what I've been thinking, would you trade a star player on your team, whether that be DK Metcalf, like let's say a team with a pretty early round 1 pick was like, I want a star player on your team that will change my franchise.
Right.
Who are you giving up for that? And you don't be like, oh, I'm giving Drew Lock for the round 1. Be like a realistic round 1 trade.
Well, I mean, obviously.
Dude, obviously it's Zach Charbonnet.
Well, I mean, he would be good for a second rounder. But anyways,
What about Jake Bobo?
shut up. I mean, Colby Parkinson, obviously. But if we're being serious, I really would think about giving up a Leonard Williams for a first if somebody's interested, or DK Metcalf, just because it's just I hate to be this guy again, but like, to me, DK has really run his course with Seattle, and I think a change of scenery is what he needs to get back to that prime DK Metcalf, because right now he's okay. He could be a lot better. And I was gonna maybe think Tyler Lockett, but I don't think anybody's willing to part with the top first for Lockett. But DK definitely. Leonard Williams is kind of the other one that I'm thinking about. I mean, that's a little bit of a stretch, but I mean, if somebody is willing to, I'd say heck yes.
What?
It's
There's
not
a
that
dude
it's
named
bad.
Michael Jackson on Seattle's defense. I'm sorry. I had to bring this up. There's a dude named Michael Jackson on someone's defense. Another round 5 pick in 2019.
But yeah, that's my answer to that.
Yeah, sorry. That was just too funny in my head. um, but yeah, I was thinking that too, DK Metcalf, just because I don't doubt his abilities as a player. I think he's a pretty good player. It's just he could be seeing a lot more production at other places, but
Absolutely.
especially the amount of times he gets in altercations and has to get kicked out of the game, it's like it's a problem. We every week it seems like there's a new story about DK Metcalf getting into a fight with another player or a staff member on the other team, or you know what I mean.
Right.
We see it all the time. So yeah, I legitimately would see that trade. Especially you don't even need a high overall round one pick. You could get maybe in the 15s and still get your franchise quarterback.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, and
This
here's the
quarterback
shitty
draft
thing.
is so deep.
Yeah, here's the shitty thing though with Seattle. Like, something is telling me they're getting Caleb Williams, and I don't know what it is. Because
What?
here, no, no, no. Hear me out. Hear me out. So for whatever reason, Pete Carroll has this thing to where he can get a player that just seems like completely unrealistic and get him at a cheap price. It's the weirdest thing, but he does it all the time. DK Metcalf, Derek Hall last year, um, Jackson Smith and the Jigba. I don't know how he got him at pick 13 or 14, whatever it was, but he did. And it's just like, dude, he's like a top 5 wide receiver who should have went in like the top 7. How did you get him at 14? Something is screaming at me that he's Caleb Williams is going to be the new starter for Seattle, and it makes no sense, but I just have a weird feeling.
I mean, hey, if that happens, if I can see that happen, I don't think Caleb Williams would. I don't think he'd be too much of a problem fitting into that Seattle offense.
No, he'd work.
Yeah, I think he would. Plus, Seattle has the rest of that draft to get, linemen, D linemen, whatever problems they have on defense, because the Legion of Boom is not back. Sorry, Seattle fans. Legion of Boom will never be back. It is not back.
Facts.
Stop. Stop it.
Let it. It's like
Um,
an abusive relationship.
yeah.
Like seriously.
Legion of Boom is back, guys. By the way, Legion of Boom. Oh, so back. That will be it though for this week's week 4 sorry, week 15 of
15.
the
Get with it.
NFL. We are going to go into our good old fantasy segment, the good, the bad, and the mez. Cole, why don't you start us off?
All right. So let us kick it off with my good. Jordan Addison.
Oh yeah.
26.10, 2 receiving TDs, 111 receiving yards on 6 receptions. This kid's impressive. Everybody kind of want to shoo him away, take credit away heading into the draft, but all year he's been consistent. He's been good. Whenever he's gets the ball, gets a chance, he does the best with what he's given. So I love Jordan Addison, and he definitely deserves this. So he's my good. My meh, I'm going to go with George Pickens. Now, hear me out. This is by all means kind of bad numbers, so you might be thinking why I wanted meh. I wanted to rant. That is pretty
Okay.
much the only reason why I put
Understandable.
him at meh. Okay, George Pickens, he had 6.20, so not completely terrible. 47 receptions, receiving yards, 3 receptions. Had to clarify that. The reason why I picked George Pickens is because literally the Steelers fans are always in the same story. Okay, they have a good wide receiver, like backtrack the clock, Antonio Brown, and then he turns into a cancer, and then he leaves. And then you get Juju Smith-Schuster, and you think finally you have tranquility. You have a good wide receiver who won't be dramatic. And
And
then
then
we
he
all
does
saw
two
how
touchdowns
that
to Zach
went.
Graves.
Now you get George Pickens. God-gifted talent, amazing wide receiver, and for whatever reason, he seems to be gathering a not so good image. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is about the Pittsburgh Steelers drafting second to third round wideouts and them being drama heads. I genuinely don't understand it. If we could fix this, that would be cool. George Pickens, I love you. I think you're a really good player. But can we just focus on football and not focus on whatever this is? Thank you. Um, and then my bad. Derrick Henry. Oh, this is what I want to talk about. Titans, I told you it was coming. I told you I'm dropping the gloves and we're fighting. Let's get to it. Okay. How? How do you have a running back who is as talented as Derrick Henry? You give him 4 receptions in total for 1 yard. You give him 9 rushing yards out of 16 attempts. I don't get it. This whole team just pisses me off because it's like, one day you show promise, you have a quarterback who looks good, and then the next day you kill the quarterback. Your running back is awful. You look like you've never played a football game before. Like, how did y'all score 16 points? I'm still baffled. Um, I I'm lost, man. I'm hurt. Tennessee, I don't like you. I don't like you anymore. I don't I want you I want to sign a restraining order against you so that way you can hurt me no longer whenever I get your guys in fantasy. Um yeah, we need to like have a talk, okay? And just stop hurting my fantasy. Thank you.
Please, don't worry about winning games. Just care about Cole's fantasy. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
So
so what's your
that
good,
concludes
bad,
your good
and
bad
maybe?
as. Now, yeah, time for me. Number one, let's start off with the good. Get it right out of the way. Baker Mayfield, 31.4, did amazing for me. I did not start him though because I thought Green Bay's defense is not that terrible, and I got proven wrong. By the way, thankful, dude. I would have been swiped if I was playing, but I'm on a bye week, so I was pretty happy.
Oh, you got saved by the bye
I
week.
got my total was 95.42
Oh, wow.
because I had 1, 2, 3. I had 4 guys starting that day break 10. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was rough. So I have Baker Mayfield at 31.4. Then up in mid, I got Dave Montgomery with 9.20. I just, I wish he could have gotten a touchdown at least. He had a lot of rushing yards with a lot of attempts too. It's just, I'd love to see him get a touchdown. And then for my bad, Bijan Robinson.
Ah, no.
Bijan, point nine, didn't break a point, did not get a point, did
Uh,
not get 1 point. I, oh,
oh.
oh, oh. It's bad. So yeah, that's my fantasy. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's time to go to our new segment though. I'm glad that you kind of made this up really. So it's time for our bright futures. So bright futures, if you don't remember what I said in the beginning, it's going to be talking about either a player, we can do multiple people, but we can talk
Right.
about a player, a team, a coach, a water boy from a team that we can, we see a lot,
I like the way he
potential in them.
squirts
So
water into his mouth.
yeah. So Cole, since this is your idea, how about you start us off first?
All right, so I did 3. So I just want to clarify, the idea behind this was, you do multiple or you do, one. Obviously, if you do one, you got, a lot to say about that. So, that's accepted. And then if you got, smaller things and segments, um, then that's how that goes. So I'll start off with my first one. Jalen Hyatt is my first bright future because, I know he didn't get a lot this year in terms of production with the Giants, but I think he came in at the wrong time. I think he has a lot with this team, and he's going to be one heck of a wide receiver that uh, really transcends this offense. This is a name you're going to hear in a few years, maybe even next year if they can get it figured out with their line play. Jalen Hyatt destroying defenses. I'm telling you, this kid was a killer at Tennessee. He's going to be awesome in this Giants team if they can, get their stuff figured out. My next one is the Seahawks. I'm very excited about the Seahawks' future, especially if Pete Carroll's hanging around. Like, if they, like Jacob was saying earlier, can get a franchise QB and they can continue to add these young studs, this team is going to be maybe even, dare I say, dynasty. Uh, that is the potential we're looking at, in my opinion, because they already got some studs. You got Witherspoon, you got Tariq Woolen, you got Derek Hall, you got Jackson Smith and the Jigba, Kenneth Walker. I mean, they got guys who are already making headlines and being amazing. But if you can add that final piece, which in my opinion is a quarterback, this they're going to be good for a while. If they're good now and barely making it into the playoffs with this roster, like I said, dynasty is a word that could be a real thing for Seattle. And then my last one is Bailey Zappi. Patriots, I'm telling you, give this guy a chance to be your franchise QB. If you do that and you build around him, this guy, I've mentioned this so many times in this podcast, but I'll do it again. He broke Joe Burrow's record, college record at Western Kentucky. He can sling it. He can, he's got a good play action. He also is a team guy. It's not about him, it's about the team betterment, and he's shown it. At least, from what he's shown. I obviously have never met him or talked to him, so I don't know for sure. But based off of what we've
You
seen,
don't? Oh.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I
Based
play
off of
poker with
what
him
we've
every
seen.
Saturday.
Yeah, you're the inside scoop. You could tell us
Yeah,
all
yeah,
then.
yeah.
But I really like him. I think he can, like fill those shoes of the void that was left by Brady. And if they give him, years to figure it out, this Patriots team might be scary again. And I know nobody in the league wants to hear that. So
Right.
those are mine.
So that is those are your bright futures. I'm going to talk about mine. I only have one, but I have a lot to say about this team.
Let's hear it.
I have for my I have for my team. I have the Tennessee Titans. Now,
Ooh,
why you might ask? One, if you look at their cap space rankings, they're number one. They have $82 million in cap room.
wow.
That's a lot. That's a lot of moolah to be having in your pockets, and you know that they can fully well use it in this free agency. There's a lot of people that can be going out. Maybe OBJ is going to leave the Ravens and go die in the Titans like every other good wide receiver.
It's possible.
But yeah, with
It's
this
possible.
team, think about it. You have all your main guys really. Tyjae Spears shows a lot of promise. Will Levis, he has so much heart. Yeah, I like it radiates off of him every time he plays. Like you can just tell, there's something about him. It I don't know how, but it just is. And currently in the mock draft, Tennessee has the ninth overall pick, and some mock drafts predict him predict them to get Brock Bowers from Georgia, the tight
Ooh,
end. Um, yeah. So if they were to have that as well, because there isn't really a tight end space in there, that would help a lot too. Because who is their tight end?
it's a weird name. It's
Tennessee
like a Wozu or
Titans.
something.
Oh yeah. Anyway, you don't have a prominent tight end room in today's NFL space. You need a tight end. Like you
Yeah.
need a solid to really good tight end to be successful. It seems like Travis Kelsey, Mark Andrews, now Isaiah Likely with the Ravens, Sam Laporta, George Kittle. Like it's like those are the best teams in the NFL right now have ridiculously good tight ends. So adding Brock Bowers to that team, game changer in Tennessee, the way I see it.
Right.
Plus, plus whenever people like cap space paying players, I'm thinking free agency. Whenever I see cap space, I'm thinking free agent list. Whenever I see cap space, you know what I mean. So think about how many
Yeah.
players are going up. Half the Chargers team is gone. Think about if some Chargers players went to Tennessee, and how much of a game changer some O line help could help a lot. Getting because O line, retiring O lineman or aging O lineman is a free agent heaven. You love to see that.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, because as valuable as O linemen are, it's scary to use a round one pick on an O lineman. It's scary to think that.
It's
'Cause I'm
the
not saying
ultimate
they're
boomer
undervaluable. Or
bust.
I'm not saying yeah, I'm not saying they're not valuable or that they don't live up to the hype, but it's like, would you rather have a quarterback that can show promise a lot or an O lineman that can help you on one side of the ball out of the four guys that you need? No, five guys that you need on an O line. It's scary to think. Nonetheless, I see a lot of promise in this Tennessee team, mainly from the cap space and the high to mid pick that they are going to get. And it's going to be scary if you get Will Levis and Brock Bowers on this team.
Oh,
If
dude.
you add if you add Brock Bowers to this. Yeah.
Yes.
And also, please trade Derrick Henry in this offseason. Maybe
Please.
get another round one pick, possibly round two. If they get another round one pick from Tennessee, another round one pick for Tennessee from Derrick Henry, this team will be scary. Scary, man. I'm
Completely
telling you.
agree.
So yeah, that'll be it for my bright futures, and that'll be the end of this episode. What is the Thursday night football game looking like? Is it over?
Not over yet, but it pretty
No,
much is. I mean,
20
oh
to
my
30.
goodness, wait a minute. I just saw that.
Oh, breaking commotion.
Dude, I looked away for 5
22.
seconds. What happened?
22.
Oh my
They just
goodness.
All
Dude,
right.
what? I
I might
looked
have to
away
jump
for
in this
5
game after when we were done recording. But anyway, that'll be it. Thank you, all of you beautiful broken chairs, for watching out there. We hope you have a lovely game. Go watch this football game right now, because
Yeah.
if we see an upset, oh man, like, all right, I'm getting sidetracked a little. Thank you again for watching this episode with us. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to watch all of JCP content. And I hope you have a beloved holiday season and beloved game this weekend. Have a
Likewise,
good one.
man. Merry Christmas.
This is Jay from JCP, and we're out.